today, Second League Season 3. Action! This is the grand finale of the Southeast Asian region, particularly Group A. We have Kor Koncept versus Xiong+4 in a best-of-5 series. So let's look at the lineups for both teams for Kor Koncept. You have Akim, Moonlader, Alexa Bliss, Laksa, and Nemesis. Alright, wait a minute, this is a bit confusing. Okay, Easy G, alright. Who Kid, Moonlader, Alexa Bliss, Easy G, and Nemesis for Xiong+4. You have Mirai, Justice4V, Blaze 6, and JetLul. Well, just put the microphone adjustments and... Alright, let's go back. Alright, much better. So, of course, let's look at the stories for both teams. Kor Koncept, well, if you look at their group stage campaign, they're currently sitting at the 4th spot, and that gave them a ticket to the playoff round. In the playoff round, they went against 2nd seed Leon Help, and it was a 2-0 victory, all thanks to the fact that Leon Help actually defaulted in that skirmish. So, a 2-0 sweep for Kor Koncept due to default. The question is, will it be an advantage for them or will it be a disadvantage for them? Especially knowing that, obviously, when you easily sweep aside a 2-0 opponent via default, then of course opposing teams will be like, or people will be like, it's just gonna be like a walk in the park for them, or they just got lucky. So the sort of mentality in their head will be, all right, we gotta show to the universe that we didn't go to the final via luck, that we work hard for it. And this is one way that they could showcase their skills and say to the universe, we deserve better than what you guys think of. Xiong+4, on the other hand, the story is that they're the top seed in the group stages. Certainly in the tickets, certainly that gave them a ticket to go to the playoff round. They went against Teammate, and it was a grueling match. Game 1 victory for Teammate, but in Game 2 and Game 3, it was all Xiong+4. So, if you look at what happened in that previous skirmish, Xiong+4, they were easily pressured in the early game by Teammate, but then Xiong+4 said, in the mid game and late game, we have one advantage, that we're able to capitalize on our abilities with perfect precision, and that's what paid dividends for them in game number 2 and game number 3. Like, I remember watching game number 3, and then I noticed that Teammate opted to go for Broodmother mid against Xiong+4's Tinker mid, and they capitalized on the matchup there. It was a disadvantage for Xiong+4, but then some overextensions by the Broodmother, as well as the other cores of Teammate, allowed Xiong+4 to make a furious, infuriating comeback to eliminate Teammate. So what does this show is that Xiong+4, yes, you could dominate Xiong+4 early in the game, but you have to be cautious in the mid to the late game because they're not a team that you could easily trifle with. And remember, this is the 7.11 gameplay update is already applicable in the grand final. So this means that if you study the concept of the new update patches, then you'll see that if you're a core hero and you get a lot of farm, if you get killed, that's gonna be like a bummer at your end because you get killed and you give a lot of gold to the opposition, and the buyback is absolutely expensive for a player or for a character with the highest net worth. So as much as possible, you want to protect your cores. If you're Kor Koncept or if you're Xiong+4, that's a must priority. Okay, let's look at what happened during the group stage battle between Kor Koncept and Xiong+4. So what happened? Well, in the group stage battle, Xiong+4 just obliterated Kor Koncept 2-0. So let's look at some analysis. Game number 1. Xiong+4, they got a good team play composition. That Earth Spirit combined it with that Enigma, it was enough to start a combination. And that Ancient Apparition was enough to put the nail in the coffin. Because if you look at Kor Koncept in game number 1 against Xiong+4, they got a DK, they got a Timber Saw, but that Ice Blast and that Black Hole combination was enough to negate all their efforts. And then in game number 2, is the early game pressure that Xiong+4 did to Kor Koncept was enough to pay dividends. And when Core Concept tried to rotate, Xiong+4 said, okay, we're going to re-rotate and defend our course. So the rotations for Xiong+4 in the early game pressure that they did against Core Concept was actually helpful. And it didn't just happen in game number 2, even in game number 1. So this is one thing you notice about Xiong+4 is that they're very aggressive early in the game. And they could use that sort of game plan against Core Concept. So we can see that sort of approach by Xiong+4. But question is, remember, Core Concept, they had a huge break. You know, they weren't able to go against Leon Help. And that allowed them to perhaps take a look at Xiong+4. They could study Xiong+4 a lot. They could learn from that teammate versus Xiong+4 matchup. So that could be the advantage of Core Concept against Xiong+4. So it's possible that we could see an upset, but I'm not saying it's going to be final. So that's just one advantage that Core Concept has over Xiong+4. Although if you look at the previous skirmish between these two teams, Xiong+4 has a better team play strategy, has a better early game approach. And that's one thing Core Concept has to avoid. They cannot let Xiong+4 dominate the early game, because if Xiong+4 dominates the early game as seen in the previous encounters between these two teams, then Xiong+4 is just going to have a victory. Okay, so now let's see. We look at the picks for both teams. Core Concept going for the Dark Willow and Dazzle. And of course, if you look at the current patch, you know that the greedier the support is, the more disadvantageous it is, because a greedy support gives a high net worth, and a higher net worth means more gold to the opposition with the current patch. So you go for heroes with a low, who aren't really deemed greedy, like Dazzle or like Oracle, rather than go for supports that are highly greedy, like Keeper of the Light or Enchantress or Chen. So you can see here, Core Concept adapting to the current meta, opting for a Dazzle, and the Dark Willow already allowed in Captain's mode. So this is like a good way for them to engage in team fights, because you have Sustain with Dazzle, and then you have Dark Willow who could control or defend his fellow teammates. And now Xiong+4, let's see, Sand King AA. So okay, so you have some two heroes with a lot of AoE potential, and an Omni Knight with some sustain. So it's a Dazzle versus Omni Knight sustain matchup here.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, so if you look at the previous skirmish between Teammate and Xiong+4, here's one thing I noticed. Teammate, they couldn't handle the Tinker of Justice. And because they couldn't handle the Tinker of Justice, they were easily wrecked apart. So I wouldn't be surprised if Core Concept bans the Tinker in the next phase. Now Ember Spirit is deployed in the battlefield, so I'm surprised that Xiong is not going for a Tinker, because, you know, in the previous skirmish against Teammate, the Tinker was just really phenomenal. I mean, even though he was out-farmed in game number 3 in the early phase, he still was able to get those crucial kills, all thanks to the overextension of Teammate's cores. And the Tinker, when he gets all these items, he's going to be devastating. But okay, let's see. So you got Ember Spirit, right-click damage hero. And then you got Ancient Apparition, who could negate all your sustain. I mean, yeah, AA is going to negate any sustain on the side of Core Concept. So it's a bit tricky situation here. But you do have a Dazzle who could... yeah, Dazzle does provide sustain, but against the AA, it's going to be difficult. Although you could help your team survive with that Shallow Grave. The question is, will it be enough for the team to survive? Although that's why you put the Puck there, because the Puck could, you know, if ever the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is in effect, you have the Puck to slow down the Xiong+4 to be super aggressive. Because if you look at it, they could go really aggressive with the Omni Knight when he casts his ultimate, and then Ancient Apparition when he also casts his ultimate. But now we're going to wait for the final bans and the final picks for both teams. So it's a bit interesting here for Core Concept, going for two infamous mid lane heroes, Shadow Fiend and Puck. Chances are there's going to be an off-lane Puck. And then there's going to be Willow at position 4 and Shadow Fiend at position 2. I mean, it's highly unlikely that Shadow Fiend goes at position 1. Especially knowing that he's easily dismantled, especially early in the game, because he doesn't have a lot of tankiness. Okay, so let's see. It was going to be the final ban on the side of Kor Koncept. Yeah, they could initiate with a puck. And the puck and Shadow Fiend combination is really good. And then combined with the Dark Will. So they got a lot of control here if you're Kor Koncept. Although Xiong+4 has a lot of they have a lot of firepower here in terms of AoE. And Kor Koncept, they want to minimize the firepower. So if they negate this Sven, it's going to be not in the battlefield. Then Vengeful Spirit, on the other hand, because it combines well with the puck and the Shadow Fiend. I mean, if you get caught by that swap in and then Dream Coil combination, and then you get caught by that raise combination by Shadow Fiend, then you're not in a good spot. So it does make sense to ban the Vengeful Spirit. So it's going to be an interesting situation. Who's going to be the hard carry for Kor Koncept? Yeah, I mean, it's possible that we're going to see a Vengeful Spirit hard carry. I mean, we've seen Maneski play it. We've seen Mushi do it a lot of times, going for a Vengeful Spirit hard carry. Although, to be honest, it's quite unusual, but it's highly effective, especially when paired with a puck. So, now, let's see. They're going to go for the Viper. That's going to be a hard carry. Yeah, that's what makes Viper so difficult, is that the fact he's not easy to be to hit, because if you try to right click him, he's gonna poison you down. If he gets a blade mail, then you're not gonna enjoy it.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, if you look at it, Shadow Fiend and Viper, these are two heroes that are very reliant on the late game. And if you're knowing Xiong+4, they like to dictate the early game, the early tempo. So we could expect Xiong+4 to go really aggressive against Kor Koncept, just like they did in their previous encounters. Although if you look at it, Kor Koncept's roster, the puck and the Dark Willow prevents that sort of hyper aggression on the side of Xiong+4, because like these are two crowd control specialists. And now Dragonite is deployed in the battlefield, so there's going to be a Dragonite carry, isn't it? Yes, Dragonite carry, and Ember Spirit is going to be deployed at the mid. Not sure it's going to be the offlane here for Xiong+4. It could be Omni-Knight, or it could be Sand King, because either or could be an offlane or roaming support. Okay, so any sort of predictions? Who do I think will win in this sort of lineup? Okay, if you ask me who's gonna win, I'm gonna say I think I'm gonna go for Kor Koncept with this roster. Yeah, I mean, They could defend themselves with this sort of lineup, because you have Dazzle, Dark Willow, and Puck. These are heroes who could really help your team disengage in situations that they're not supposed to engage. And if you look at Xiong+4, yeah, they could really go aggressive in here. But, you know, you could slow them down with those three heroes I mentioned, Dazzle, Puck, and Dark Willow. So I'm going with Kor Koncept with this. And I want to know what you guys think. Alright, here we go. Last is in the nice set. And let's introduce both teams. For the side of Kor Koncept, representing the Radiant, we have Who Kid as a puck. Followed by Moon Later as a Shadow Fiend. That means Alexa Bliss is the Viper, together with EZG as the Viper, and Nemesis there as Dark Willow. On the side of Xiong+4, they represent a Dire. We have Mirai at the Sand King. Then Justice there as the Ember Spirit. Blaze as the Ancient Apparition. Six as the Omni Knight. And Jetlul as the Dragon Knight. Okay, so let's see. Xiong+4. Are they going to go for some early bounty strikes? The same goes with Kor Koncept. Well, Xiong+4. I was expecting that they're going to go for a smoke gank and go for the sneak around, knowing that they love to play hyper aggressive early in the game. Kind of reminds me of TNC and TI6. But so far, it's not going to happen. So they're going to be very cautious in here. Or maybe they're just going to wait for it. So I think the X factor here would be the Ice Blast for Xiong+4. If they land it perfectly, it's going to be crucial. Now, Mirai also has to time his abilities, because like I've seen matchups like, oh, there's a Burrow Strike there on Who Kid. Who Kid not in a good spot. He's going to orb around. He does escape. He does half escape. And that's one advantage of the puck here. He's so fluid. Okay, there's a burrow strike on Who Kid, but will Who Kid be dead? But apparently he's not going to die. He's going to play safe. So mid lane, we have Moon later here against Justice. Top lane, it's going to be Who Kid in the off lane spot. Going up against the tri lane of Mirai, Jetlo, and Blaze. Bottom lane, on the other hand, it's going to be Alexa Bliss and EZG.
Radiant's bottom tower
And Nemesis, it's a tri lane against 6. So there's going to be an off lane Omni Knight. And there's going to be Sand King who's going to roam around the map. I'm actually curious. With the current patch, we expect that... I've heard that it's possible we're going to see some 4 cores and 1 support. I mean, the way Team DK has done it. But so far, I'm not going to see it in this match. But right now, Mirai's going to rotate. And Xiong+4, they're looking like they're going to play very aggressive here in the early game. As they did in their previous skirmish. I said Mirai's just going to go in the top lane. He might find Who Kid hiding through the tree lines. If he gets that, it's going to be huge. But right now, 6 already surrounded there by Nemesis. Forced to activate the repel to make sure he doesn't suffer any sort of additional damage. And Alexa Bliss doing a lot of havoc there on 6. So yeah, this is going to be a problematic matchup here for 6. Because you got Alexa Bliss as the Viper. That poison damage is really going to slow you down. And even if you have a lot of purifications, a lot of repels, the question is it going to be enough? Because the poison damage is really going to be stinging. As right now, 6 is going to surround their purification, but he gets stunned there by Nemesis. Will 6 go down? He forced to activate the repel. Surrounded by the creeps. Surrounded by Alexa Bliss. Surrounded by everyone. 6 trying to run for his life. The poison damage is doing it, and Alexa Bliss draws first blood, and momentum on Kor Koncept is happening. Well, Alexa Bliss is indeed showing signs that he is the WWE Women's Champion. Hopefully, it does translate to the Dota match. Now, Who Kid trying to pressure on Mirai, but here comes Blaze coming to the rescue, and so far, it's not going to be any sort of assault between the two teams. Now, the mid lane matchup. But here's the thing, though. The Shadow Fiend's nuke damage is going to be difficult for Justice early in the game, although Justice has the mobility. The fact is that you're going to deal with that nuke damage. So, and the fact that the Shadow Fiend has range as well, I mean, it's also going to be a nightmare for Justice. I mean, Shadow Fiend, you know, with that nuke damage is really good against heroes like the Death Prophet, because the Death Prophet, even though he has a lot of sustain, but the thing is, it requires a long, a long time for it to activate or to reach its highest potential. Like if you go for a Spirit Siphon, it's going to take a lot of time. So you activate it, as right now 6 is going to get pressured on. Oh dear, here's another stun, purification, and a repel to block off the stun from Nemesis. So perfectly timed there on the side of 6 to avoid that sort of stunning approach from Nemesis. Okay, so Blaze trying to protect his, yeah, he's going to feed up Jetlul here. Let's look at the last nice. Jetlul is leading 24-9. His rival, Who Kid, has yet to kill a creep, so this is a very conservative puck as of this moment. No creep kills yet. On the other hand, Nemesis likewise has yet to kill a creep. Now 6 is going to teleport out. But here comes Mirai. Oh, he's not going to teleport out. He said he's going to teleport through the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. So right now, Mirai forced to rotate in the bottom lane. He knows that the pressure here by Kor Koncept in the bottom lane is indeed wreaking havoc, especially on 6. I mean, 6 needs to level up fast because, of course, that Guardian Angel is going to be a clutch moment, especially knowing if you look at Kor Koncept's lineup. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, the Shadow Fiend is a hero that relies a lot on right-click, especially if he gets those items, and Viper likewise as well, as right now 6, oh, he goes down, all thanks to Nemesis. And this Dark Willow is indeed doing his job, even though he has yet to kill some creeps. I mean, the fact that the control that he possessed is just really brilliant.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, so let's see. Moon later already level 5 at 21-12 against his matchup. 19-2. Although right now Mirai and is going to press on Moonlader. Moonlader trying to raise a pawn, but here comes Kor. Xiong+4 with a response says, okay, you're not going to kill someone there. Now Justice, will he go down? Burrow Strike activated on EZG. Now Mirai, will he go on the offensive? No, he's just going to go on the retreat. He doesn't have some additional mana. And Justice certainly doesn't have a lot of HP left. He's going to regenerate those mana needed as well as HP. Okay, one thing to take note. Let's look at the last hit to deny. So Justice with 3 denies compared to Moonlader. So Moonlader has the upper hand as expected because of the fact that he has range and the fact that his nuke damage is going to slow down Justice. So this is a mid lane advantage for the side of Kor Koncept. But remember, I've seen in the previous skirmishes that Xiong+4 against teammate, you know, the mid lane matchup was not at their favor for Xiong+4, but they still managed to get a victory against teammate. So if you're Kor Koncept, one thing you should never do in this sort of situation is to overextend. Like we've seen teammate make the same mistake against Kor Koncept. So you don't want that to happen here, because if you're gonna let that happen, then remember this is a 7.11 patch where the higher your net worth is, the more gold you give if you get killed. Right now, Kid trying to juke it out. Now Mirai. Oh, Mirai's gonna get poisoned down. Does he have a Burrow Strike? He does, gonna TP out. Will he? Oh, instead he cancels out the teleportation just for the sake of getting a Burrow Strike. I'm not sure if that's the right thing or the wrong thing, but in return, Kid goes down. Maybe, I guess, that's the reason why he went for the Burrow Strike, because he has Jetlul there to grab some kills. Now we go to the bottom lane. 6, well surrounded in there by Nemesis and Alexa Bliss. Yeah, this is not a good situation for 6. I mean, if you look at the Viper at 24-12 against 10-1, that's well, to be honest, I mean, Omni Knight's really going to struggle with that Viper pressure. I mean, that's the reason why Viper is like one of the nerfed heroes post TI7, because of the fact that if you look at the Viper, the right-click damage it possesses, I mean, it's just really annoying to deal with. That first skill, you can just easily spam it all day, every day, and you can just get those pressure kills needed. And it's going to slow down the opposition, and that's what we're going to see here to 6. Okay, so let's see. So Kid, well, he's not yet level 6, so he doesn't have yet a Dream Coil. Now Jetlul already leading the stat line. So let's look at the overall net worth, because this is the most interesting aspect, especially given the current patch change. So Jetlul is leading it. So if you're Xiong+4, one thing you should never do is to let Jetlul die. That's number 1 priority. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to send everyone here to the tier 1 tower on the top lane to protect Jetlul, because the current patch says, as right now, Moonlader, this is not a good spot. He raises, but apparently the raise doesn't find any target, and Moonlader goes down, and Justice, together with his partner in crime, Mirai, indeed gets that kill. As you can see, look at what happened during that kill. The fact that Moonlader was second in net worth and then suddenly gets slaughtered, he moved down to the 4th spot. So you can see the changes of the current meta and how it's affecting the overall playstyle. So yeah, this is a very important aspect. The cores have to be protected. It's a number 1 priority. Now 6 going on the offensive. Mirai as well. Burrow Strike activated. Alexa Bliss, will he go down? There's the crowd control needed on the side by Nemesis. Now here's Moonlader to the rescue, trying to protect his teammate. Oh, and Justice, will he run away? He does have a remnant. He's going to use it. He does evade it. Will Blaze activate? He doesn't have his ultimate yet, but he does have the cold feet to slow anyone down, and that's going to be huge there on the side of Kor Koncept. Now they're going to get one more. Blaze is dead. So that's like 2 major heroes dead. I mean, you lose the Ancient Apparition, you lose the Ember Spirit, but in return, you're forcing the tier 1 tower to defend all by himself against a massive wave of creeps, and Jetlul, who's already leading the charts in the net worth department.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Okay, so for those of you who are asking about the mathematical equation about the current net worth changes, please don't ask me. I'm not an expert at that.
Radiant's top tower.
Although I do need to learn it. Although some say you don't really need to learn the math about that, but you could just, get through the conclusions. But the tier 1 tower in the top lane is dead. So Jetlul, yeah, this is not a good spot if you're Kor Koncept, yes, you dictate the early game in terms of like the kills, but the fact is Jetlul is still getting farmed up. And if he gets all these items, and the fact that the Dragon Knight is one of the tankiest heroes, he's not going to be easy to be killed. And now if Xiong+4, if they secure this Dragon Knight survival, then they're winning the game. As much as possible, the Dragon Knight should not die in any sort of early brawls. I mean, that's their way of winning. I mean, he has to just constantly farm up, and he's playing very smart. Okay, so Moonlader trying to likewise dictate the net worth advantage as well, trying to farm up the creeps. Now you can see here, EZG and Nemesis on their way here in the mid lane, going 2-on-1 against Justice, make that 3-on-1 with Moonlader's arrival. So Justice being slowed down. I mean, it does make sense, because if you look at what happened against Teammate, yeah, Justice was being slowed down, but then here comes Justice in the mid and late game. He goes bonkers. So you want to slow him down early in the game, which is good. That's what Teammate did. But obviously they weren't able to do the finishing touches. Now Jetlul, he's going to get surrounded. Dream Coil activate the silence then. But there Mirai with a Burrow Strike. And now Jetlul forced to activate the ultimate. He doesn't even seem to care if that poison damage is by Alexa Bliss is doing havoc. But right now he should care. Especially knowing that he might not be able to survive through this. But there's Mirai through the rescue. Nemesis is low in health. And Jetlul gets 2 kills. Will he TP out? I mean, if you look at it, Kor Koncept doesn't have stunts anymore because the fact that they lost their stunner, which is none other than Nemesis. So now Jetlul is getting slowed down. There's a double poison, but here's Blaze coming to the rescue, slowing down with a cold feet. Will he go for extra slow? Jetlul trying to survive through this. Does he have an armlet of Mordigan? No, he doesn't have, but he still manages to live. And boy, if you're Xiong+4, that's a huge break. I mean, 6k net worth lead with the current meta changes. And you still manage to protect him. Oh, that's a huge sigh of relief. And he gets this armlet. So that is like a huge welcome there for Xiong+4. I mean, Jetlul really has to be thankful for what his teammate Blaze has been doing there. Blaze has really been impactful in that top lane. Maybe even Mirai also has to be commended as well. I mean, yeah, he wasn't really able to produce a lot of havoc, especially without his epicenter, but it doesn't really seem to matter. As long as the Dragon Knight is alive, then Xiong+4 is in a good spot. Okay, so let's see what 6 has items soul ring set. Now Justice already at the bottle, so yeah, we're still gonna go for a boots of travel. So some additional pushing prowess here. Because if you look at it, well, to be honest, I mean, Xiong+4 really did a good job in pressuring the lanes. The fact that they're able to secure this tier 1 tower here, actually not, no, I take that back. They didn't do a good job yet. It's still early in the game, as right now Nemesis gets surrounded, but Justice, Stone Remnant is actually, no, not Stone Remnant, but Fire Remnant is doing it. And right now Justice trying to run away. He does have 6 as a sort of insurance policy. Will he heal his teammate there? Okay, there's a purification set. I guess they have an eye on Moonlader, or maybe they don't. Now 6, will he try to run away? Moonlader, will he reveal his position? Now, if EZG gets caught in here, he's not in a good spot. Oh, he gets caught. Goodbye, hello, goodbye. Well, and right now Xiong+4 with that momentum. 7k net worth lead for Jetlul in the top lane. And there's nothing Kor Koncept could do to stop him. And if he gets that Shadow Blade, which he has... Oh, wait, no, that's a Shadow Fiend. Did he? Oh, not yet. If he gets that Shadow Blade, he is not going to be easy to kill. Because the fact is that he could just run away from unwanted team fights, turn himself invisible. And let's see if Kor Koncept has detection. No, absolutely not. Okay, yeah. So it's up to EZG to do the warding. And of course he has to position it perfectly if you want to get a kill on Jetlul, but so far Jetlul is not easy. Even if you try to chase him, even if he's invisible, he does have a dragon's tail. So he's still not gonna be easy to be hunted down. So if you're Kor Koncept, yeah, you do have to get on Jetlul, because if he keeps on running with this momentum, he's just gonna enjoy the game. As right now Justice, okay, Look who's through the back line. It's Jetlul through the back line. Doesn't really seem to matter who he's up against. All the fact he does have a lot of armlets. I mean, not a lot, just one armlet, but it's really helping him survive. And then you have 6 to purify him. Mirai trying to help his teammates survive through the backlines and is paying dividends. And right now, let's see if it's going to work out wonders. And now Justice, with that double damage rune, is doing a lot of havoc in there. He's going to run away. Let's see, his fire end is on cooldown, but he has a bottle. He's going to slow down anyone, but he's going to get susceptible to that raise. Question is, will he die? No, the purification says no, but he's going to get chased upon here by Nemesis together with EZG. But Blaze could slow them down, which is happening, and right now, holy smokeroni, someone goes down, and Justice is on a killing spree, but apparently it ends. But here comes the reinforcements. It's 6 through the back line, says the purification does put your life to the end, and the sword to the dagger. Right through your heart, it goes down. Well, of course, it's a good exchange for both teams, but I have to say, Xiong+4 had the upper hand. DK was able to get snatched some victories in that matchup, and then the fact that he survives, that's huge. And his net worth is still okay. And Kor Koncept has lost, 2 heroes in that assault. So it's not a good situation. It's still a victory on the side of Xiong+4. And right now, the Ice Blast. Man, that would have been better if there was an Earthshaker like PPD. Here comes the Ice Blast. But of course, let's go back here in the match action. Dream Coil set. Now they're going to take control on Alexa Bliss. Stone Remnant activated Jetlul. Oh dear, this is not good for Jetlul. Will he die? Yes, he does go down. And look what happened to it. Moonlater has already increased his net worth. It was already at 6k, and then now it's up to 7k. Yeah, that's one thing you should always avoid with the current patch changes. And right now, Kor Koncept could dictate here in game number 1. They're going to capitalize on the pushing prowess, and with the absence of the DK, this could be like an opening for them. Alright, now they're able to secure the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. So there's going to be some early pressure here on the side of Kor Koncept. They could go for a tier 3 tower here in the mid lane. But in return, you have someone here knocking the doorstep on the side of Xiong+4. Right now, okay. Nemesis. Trying to run away. No, you get caught by the border strike, but he gets entangled upon there by the flames of Justice. But here comes Mirai. Force to activate the epicenter. Gets a target on Moonlater. He was stuck there. Now this could be the momentum. Oh, and the Ice Blast together with the barrage from the Ember Spirit from Justice as that's doing it. That's 3 down to the side of Kor Koncept. So this could be someone, the momentum boost here on the side of Xiong+4. And they're going to secure the tier 1 tower here in the mid lane. My goodness, this Justice is just wrecking havoc. I mean, yeah, he's always the one who's always going to get pressured upon. Just like what happened in Teammate, but in the mid to the late game, that's where he does a lot of havoc. So even if you control him, he says it doesn't really matter. I could just, dictate the pace to the mid in the late game, which is what we're seeing right now. Or am I a bit too early to say something like that? But anyway, that might happen here in this game if Kor Koncept is not very cautious. So that's one thing you should avoid at all costs, is that you give momentum to Justice from the mid to the late game. That's one thing you should avoid, because that's where Xiong is going to be dangerous. I mean, in the previous skirmishes, we've seen that. And if you look at their lineup, it's really built for the late game, especially knowing that they got to Stain.
I'll take your tribute.
So far, it's still anyone's game. I mean, well, I did predict that Kor Koncept is going to win in this match, right? Yeah. I hope my prediction is not false. Okay, so let's see what Moonlater has to offer. He's going to chase 6, or maybe not. 6 just goes for the repel, going to retreat. On the other hand, Jetlul, well, he's still... Wow, look at this. He's still leading in net worth. I mean, getting a kill on Moonlater early in that mid lane assault here actually lowered his overall net worth advantage. So, it's a good... Yeah, that was a good clash there by Xiong+4. And right now, they're the ones pressuring the lanes. So, it's all up to the tier 2s from the top, mid, and the bottom lane to do the job for Xiong+4. Now, as you can see here, 6. Okay, he's just going to... Good situation as right now. Hello, it's Mirai with an epicenter. Ice Blast activated, and that's on 4 heroes. Make that 5 apparently. So it actually forced Nemesis to send anyone on the retreat. But the question is, will it be enough though? Oh no, it's not going to be enough, especially when the cold feet is there. And oh my goodness, that was perfectly timed by Mirai. Let's look at what happened. Positioning Mirai in this area, and then the Viper was so aggressive, but then I think he didn't hear that epicenter sound, didn't he? Or did he? Apparently, he did not. So, of course, what happened was that he was so eager, especially knowing that he got backup. It's like, yeah, I got Moonlader at my back, yo. And all of a sudden, here comes Mirai, says, hello, you didn't see that coming, didn't you? And then combine it with that Ice Blast from Blaze, that was just enough. That was just enough. Like Ice Blast on 5 heroes, gentlemen. 5 heroes in the tier 1 tower. That is like a nightmare for Kor Koncept to deal with. And they don't have sustain after that. Dark Willow was forced to activate the Terrorize, but apparently it wasn't enough. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Dark Willow, if that was a level 2 Terrorize, maybe it would have helped the team, but no, it wasn't. You know, it's not good. It's still a level 1 Terrorize, so it's still not a good situation for Kor Koncept. I mean, the one thing, yeah, Dark Willow is like one of the most commonly used heroes because of the fact that he's like an expert in crowd control. But what I don't like about Dark Willow is that it takes a lot of time to activate those abilities. Like, especially the Cursed Crown. It's like it takes 4 seconds before the stun is applied. And then Terrorize, like it takes like a 0.millisecond or 1.5 second for the Terrorize to take effect. So it's one thing I really don't like about the Dark Willow, although he's actually one of the most effective heroes in making sure that the opposition does not go on the offensive or maybe to chase the opposition. Kind of reminds me of like a Tusk. So right now the tier 2 tower here is under siege in the mid lane, but right now, okay, Dream Coil set, but no! The Fire Remnant saves Justice. And Jetlil turns himself invisible. Nick of time escape for both the cores on the side of Xiong+4. So I'm curious, what does Xiong+4... Oh wait, Kor Koncept. Okay, they have a sentry ward here. So it's these wards that... Well, though it's just not really... There's not really a lot of sentry wards to find the Dragon Knight as of this moment. The Dragon Knight is just very sneaky at this moment. I mean, here's the thing. Jetlil is just there in the jungle most of the match. I mean, other than the fact that he's just trying to lane in the early phase. So, if you're Kor Koncept, you do like to send these sentry wards in those spots in the jungle area. And then you also want to send these observer wards as well. But obviously, it's not going to be easy, especially knowing that Xiong+4's lineup is really a damage burst lineup. So if you're Kor Koncept, like, you do want to be cautious with that. So it's a really tricky situation. Like, their best bet, yeah, is to turn invisible and place wards in the jungle area, or turn invisible and go on the offensive. Now remember, the current patch says that smoke ganks are going to be crucial, especially if they get big kills, which I might see right now. Excuse me, something got stuck in my throat. As right now, Blaze. Okay, Blaze will be enough. Oh, it's not going to be a huge kill. It's just a support, but that still might be a huge kill because of the fact that he does a lot, especially to help the team survive. And right now, Six, together with his teammate Jetlil, forced to go on the offensive. But this is not looking good on the side of Xiong+4. They've already lost their core hero, which is none other than DK, giving the Moonlader some sort of advantage in the net worth. And if they get a kill on 6, that's going to be huge. So that's a huge momentum booster on the side of Xiong+4. And that's what I've been talking about. Smoke ganks are very crucial nowadays, especially if they land a perfect target, given the fact that the net worth is going to increase exponentially. But right now, while it's happening, you can see here Mirai trying to push through the top lane. And let's see if Kor Koncept is going to deny this. Are they? Okay, they're just going to try to defend that. But right now you can see, okay, Kid not in a good spot. Oh, okay. Apparently, Justice says, okay, I'm just going to show my presence there, and I'm going to throw a Fire Remnant right in front of your face. Okay, so it's tier 2 towers on the side of Kor Koncept. They've already lost one here in the top lane, but here in the mid lane is about to go down. Bottom lane is still up for grabs and a bit full in HP. And yeah, they're gonna try to destroy this one if you're Xiong+4. So maybe if you're a Kor Koncept, you do like to. It's okay. They could try to defend this, also defend this because this really looks exposed from the sort of high ground pushes right now. Moon later. Oh, there. This is not a good spot. Oh, that's a huge sigh of relief for Xiong+4. And just look at that. I mean, 6 is just gonna enjoy that kill. Now, let's see what his item is going to reveal. He does have a Heaven's Halberd, so he's not going to be easy to right-click. So if you're a Shadow Fiend, if you're a Viper, and then, of course, the 3 supports are not really heavy damage dealers in terms of right-clicks. I mean, let's see. Puck is not a support, but an off-lane. But still, the Heaven's Halberd is going to make things really difficult. On the side of Kor Koncept is right now. Here's an Ice Blast. And the damage is just really wrecking havoc there on the side of Xiong+4 and Kor Koncept. Let's see what they can do in here. The damage from that Epicenter and Ice Blast together with the right clicks from the Ember Spirit is just really punishing. And just look at that. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the fact that the Dragon form is just really killing you, and then combine that with the sustain from 6 and then Ice Blast and Epicenter combination. It's just really a nasty situation as right now, the EZG, he's going to go down. Jet will force to retreat. He's going to get healed upon there by his teammate. Let's see if the Urn of Shadows is going to be enough. But it's still going to be enough, especially knowing that you have some additional backup sustain on the side of the Omni Knight. Okay, so let's see. Justice with that Radiance. So that Radiance is really like the best pushing item. Normally when you go for Ember Spirit, the first item you think of is a Battle Fury. I mean, it's also a good pushing item as well, also good farming item as well, but instead, yeah, Justice is just really capitalizing on the momentum given to him. And just look at the net worth. He's already second in this match. And yeah, the fact that he's already capitalizing on this momentum means that he could go for really expensive items like the Radiance. And you could go for a split push as well. So this is like a situation where Kor Koncept would be like, okay, we have a problem here, and it's Justice. Just look at that Boots of Travel, and he could just roam around the map. He could just rotate, and the Fire Remnant also does that as well. As right now, okay, Alexa Bliss. Let's see what he can do. Forced to run away, forced to activate the Hurricane Pike. No, not a Hurricane Pike, but just what do you call that? Force Staff. And, well, if you look at what happened, Xiong+4 playing very safe. They learned from their mistake here when they went over aggressive. So they'd be like, okay, we'll just play safe as of this moment. We're just going to make sure that Kor Koncept is not going to go obliterate us because we have to protect our cores. And remember, this is a control lineup here by Kor Koncept. It could really pay dividends, especially if Xiong+4 plays very reckless. I mean, Dark Willow could still be clutched together with Puck. I mean, Dark Willow Puck combination is really devastating, especially if it's timed perfectly. I mean, here's what happened. Dream Coil and then Terrorize. That'll be like, that's a massive stun on Xiong+4. If they get 5 heroes on that, oh my, that's going to be nasty on the side of Xiong+4. Okay, Mirai showing his presence. Go for the Border Strike, but instead going on the retreat. Yeah, he doesn't really have a lot of firepower there. Let's see his item list. Okay, so he does have a Blink Dagger and a Force Staff, so it's not going to be enough. And now let's see. This is the interesting prospect. It's Moon later. Hurricane Pike going to go for a Bloodthorn. Yeah, he is going to go for a Bloodthorn. Yeah, to provide some sort of silence. Like, you want to do that against the Omni Knight, because the Omni Knight is the one that's actually helping DK as well as the Fire Spirit. I mean, Ember Spirit, to do a lot of damage. The fact that they could easily be sustained. Now Mirai spots something very fishy, goes on the retreat. Very smart there by Mirai. But this is what I'm talking about. The Boots of Travel and Radiance combination here by Justice is just really wrecking the lines here. As right now, Jetlul trying to provide them sort of intel in the mid lane, but Justice knows the intel. He could just teleport back with that Boots of Travel. So as you can see, he's not really that concerned. What he should be concerned is that Kor Koncept is on their way, knocking through the doorstep. So I'm not sure if Justice, is he aware of this? Okay, he's going to run away. Is he? Oh, he's going to get slowed down, but the Fire Remnant says, oh, ho, ho, hello. Listen, You're not going to chase through me. And very intelligent there by Justice, who does manage to run away with a Fire Remnant right in your face. Yeah, so Kor Koncept going to go very defensive right now. And let's see if they have vision in the Roche Pit. Well, they only have an Observer Ward here, but they won't be able to spot anyone in the Roche Pit. So it's another tricky situation. I mean, they could contain Xiong+4 with a Roche Pit, knowing that you have a Dark Willow and a Buck combination. And the Radiant, the Dire, is actually going for the scan, so Xiong are going to go for the scan as well, but together with Kor Koncept. So Kor Koncept are aware that Xiong+4 is in the Roche Pit. But if you look at the spacing here on the side of Xiong+4, it might pay dividends here, especially knowing that if you look at it, Mirai in a good spot together with Blaze to make sure that none of their teammates are going to die, but instead they did get a surprise, and the surprise was real. And Justice, look who he comes with the BKB. The surprise is actually working wonders. Yeah, I like the spacing of Blaze in that match, even Mirai as well. The spacing was just really good. Mirai was here, Blaze was there. They let the Kors do the damage here to make sure that a five-man wipeout does not even exist. Yeah, things are not looking good on the side of Kor Koncept. I mean, you really have to commend the positioning as well as the timing. Justice was not even heavily involved here. It was just DK and Omni Knight. They were just killing this Roche Pit. And then by the time Kor Koncept says, okay, we gotta do something, they were frantically going this area. But what they didn't see was Mirai was waiting for them. Mirai was waiting for them here. Blaze here. So it's a perfect Ice Blast, a perfect epicenter combination. There's nothing Kor Koncept could do about it, but just watch in awe. You know, to be honest, it's Mirai and Blaze is really helping Xiong+4 in the team fights. I mean, yeah, I get the fact that you got right clicks from the Ember Spirit and the Dragon Knight. Yeah, I get the fact that you got sustained from 6, but you also have to commend the Sand King and the Ancient Apparition combination. And this is like game number 1 between Kor Koncept and Xiong+4 in the group stage. Like, Kor Koncept, you know, they're susceptible to the timing of Xiong+4, the timing of the Black Hole, the timing of the Magnetize, the timing of the Ice Blast. So the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast together with the Enigma Black Hole was just really wrecking Kor Koncept apart. It's the timing of their abilities, the spacing as well. And I'm seeing it right now here in this game. It's like history is going to repeat itself. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if in game number 2 we see a ban on the Ancient Apparition, but it doesn't really seem to matter, especially knowing the fact that your core here, Alexa Bliss, the WWE Women's Champion, is dead. Yes, she is dead, and they're gonna hunt for more. Nemesis is next on the target list. He does activate his second skill. Will it be enough though? No, of course, it's a like. He's gonna go down, even though he's surrounded. He uses these pushes to make sure that he won't get killed. It doesn't really seem to matter, especially with that double damaged rune. And now Xiong+4 says, okay, it's now our time to knock on the doorstep. And now we got that Roche Pit secured, and they're going to go on the offensive. And the tier 3 tower is under siege. So this could be up for grabs here on the side of Xiong+4 with the 17k net worth lead. And Kor Koncept, on the other hand, things are not looking pretty good at their side is right now EZG. Let's see what he can do here. Can he defend? Obviously, he's a support hero. He does need more firepower to make sure he can defend this. But it's still not going to be easy because you got like, okay, let's see what happens. Oh, the Shadow Fiend dead. So Moonlader dead. Yeesh, that's not a good spot.
Radiant's top tower.
So you lost your cores. You lost your core here. You lost your core here in the bottom spot. So if you're Kor Koncept, that is not a good sign. Especially knowing that this is not going to be really good as right now. Okay, Justice activate the BKB. Doesn't even seem to care what's happening, especially if he could slow down anyone. And Alexa Bliss is their first target. He gets slowed down, frozen upon to death. He goes down. Now EZG next on the list, forced to activate the Shallow Grave. Will it be enough though? Apparently, the answer is no. It's not going to be enough. And now Xiong+4. Oh my goodness. Xiong+4 please have mercy on the soul of the dead. But apparently they don't need to show mercy, especially knowing the fact that they got momentum. And right now, Justice just evaded an orb on the side of Kor Koncept. He's just really juking out this Justice guy. Yeah. Take note, Xiong has not yet unleashed their signature hero, the Tinker, so expect that Tinker is going to be deployed in game number 2 for Xiong+4. It's like one of their signature heroes, so yeah, I mean, the fact that Xiong+4 was able to secure this victory, even with a shaky start, and even without even using the Tinker, that's a good sign if you're Xiong+4. And they're just really going to wreak havoc here in Kor Koncept's base. Just really shredding them apart to pieces. I mean, this is like a mega creeps, and Kor Koncept trying to say never give up, never give up. John Cena says so. But apparently, let's see if that never give up spirit is going to be enough, especially knowing that your racks are down. I mean, yeah, this is the final, so I understand what everything here is at stake. As right now you can see here, Dream Coil set. Oh, this could be a momentum booster, but here comes Mirai with an epicenter right to the backlines, and here comes, oh, Justice, says the Fire Remnant right in your face, but instead going the offense, and Kor Koncept have already offered their terms of surrender, and game number 1 secured by Xiong+4, all thanks to the timing of the abilities of Mirai and Blaze. So game number 1, Xiong+4. Let's see if the storyline is going to continue. Will it be a sweep? Or will it be an interesting series? Don't go off. We're going to be back. We're going to take a short commercial break. And yeah,